People think the biggest dream in the digital world is becoming a successful content creator. Millions chase followers, millions celebrate viral videos, millions believe that one day the algorithm will finally notice them. But almost nobody realizes they're running on a treadmill that never stops. Because the moment they stop creating, everything stops. The views disappear, the money disappears, the audience moves on. And that's exactly where the real story begins. Imagine two people uploading videos every single day. They both have talent, they both work until 2 in the morning. They both sacrifice weekends, friendships, and sleep. 5 years later, one of them is still terrified every time a video gets fewer views than expected. The other has employees, multiple income streams, products selling while sleeping, and enough freedom to disappear for months without losing everything. They started at the same place. So, how did they end up living completely different lives? The answer isn't what most people think. Every morning, thousands of creators wake up with the same fear. They don't check messages first, they don't drink coffee first, they open analytics, views, click through rate, watch time, subscriber count. Their mood for the entire day depends on numbers they can't fully control. One bad upload feels like failure. One viral upload feels like victory. It's an emotional roller coaster controlled by an algorithm no one truly understands. But the real problem was just beginning. The internet has convinced people that attention is the final goal. It's not. Attention is only the beginning. The real question is simple. What happens after people watch you? Most creators never ask that question because they're too busy chasing the next upload. Every piece of content becomes another race against time, another battle for relevance, another attempt to survive. And that's exactly why so many talented creators quietly disappear. Years ago, building a business required offices, warehouses, expensive advertising, and huge teams. Today, one camera, one laptop, and an internet connection can build something far bigger. Yet, most people still think like entertainers instead of entrepreneurs. They measure success by subscribers instead of systems, by likes instead of leverage, by applause instead of assets. What happened next changed everything. Look at the world's smartest digital entrepreneurs. Their content isn't the business, their content is the invitation. Every video is a door. Every post leads somewhere. Every piece of attention moves people into a system that keeps working whether they're online or not. That single mindset shift separates people who earn money from content from people who build wealth because of content. Imagine opening a small coffee shop. Every day you personally make every drink, clean every table, greet every customer, and lock the doors at night. If you get sick, revenue stops immediately. That's how most creators operate. They are the product. Their personality is the business. Their time creates every dollar. It feels exciting in the beginning until exhaustion quietly enters the room. At first, the rewards are addictive. The first 1,000 followers, the first brand deal, the first comment saying, "You changed my life." Confidence grows, income grows, friends start asking how you did it. Family finally begins taking your work seriously. Everything feels perfect. But hidden underneath the celebration is a dangerous trap almost nobody notices. Success creates pressure. Pressure creates expectations. Expectations create fear. Suddenly, every upload has to outperform the last one. Every thumbnail feels like life or death. Every idea seems weaker than yesterday's success. Instead of creating with excitement, creators begin creating from panic. The audience never sees it, but inside, the stress becomes unbearable. This is where many careers quietly collapse. Not because people aren't talented, not because they stopped caring, because they accidentally built a prison with millions of subscribers watching from the outside. They can't stop, they can't slow down, they can't disappear. The machine must keep producing, and the machine is them. But nobody could have predicted what came next. One creator spends 10 hours editing a video. Another spends those same 10 hours building a course that solves a problem. A third spends the time hiring an editor instead of becoming one. A fourth builds software. Another launches a community. Someone else creates a newsletter, a consulting company, a digital product, a media agency, or an education platform. At first, they all seem slower than the creator chasing daily uploads. Then the math changes forever. The creator is paid once for today's performance. The business owner gets paid again tomorrow, and next week, and next month. Not because they work harder, because they built something that continues creating value after the camera turns off. Think about Hollywood. Actors become famous, studios become wealthy, athletes become legends, team owners often become billionaires. Fame attracts attention, ownership builds fortunes. Most people spend years chasing the spotlight while ignoring the stage itself. That misunderstanding has destroyed more opportunities than failure ever could. The internet loves telling stories about overnight success. Someone posts one video and suddenly gains 5 million followers. But almost nobody follows the next chapter. Maintaining that attention becomes a full time battle. Viral moments create expectations. Expectations demand consistency. Consistency requires systems. Without systems, success becomes surprisingly fragile. Then comes the hidden enemy no one talks about: dependency. Dependency on one platform, dependency on one audience, dependency on one revenue source. One algorithm update can erase years of momentum. One policy change can cut income overnight. One unexpected trend can make yesterday's strategy completely useless. What happened next shocked everyone. History repeats itself again and again. Businesses disappear when they rely on one customer. Investors panic when they own only one stock. Creators struggle when every dollar comes from views. The principle never changes. Diversification isn't exciting, but survival rarely is. Imagine waking up one morning and discovering your account has been hacked, or your channel has been suspended by mistake. Appeals take weeks. Bills arrive tomorrow. Rent doesn't wait. Employees don't wait. Life doesn't pause because technology made a mistake. Suddenly, the audience you believed you owned was never really yours. The smartest creators understood this years before everyone else. They started collecting email addresses instead of only followers. They built websites instead of depending entirely on social media. They created memberships, products, software, books, events, communities, consulting businesses, licensing deals, and investments. They transformed attention into infrastructure. Because attention is rented, ownership is permanent. Every successful business follows a simple journey. First attract, then capture, then nurture, then sell, then retain. Most creators master the first step and ignore the other four. They become experts at getting views, but beginners at building companies. The result is predictable: huge audiences, small wealth. There was once a young creator who celebrated reaching 1 million followers. Brands lined up, interviews arrived, friends called him lucky. But every month began exactly the same way, $0 until the next upload performed. Every month started from scratch. Every month depended on the next idea. Every month felt like standing on thin ice. Across town, another creator had only 100,000 followers. On paper, he looked smaller, less famous, less impressive. But behind the scenes, customers renewed subscriptions automatically. Courses kept selling. His small software tool solved real problems. His team handled customer support. His editors managed production. His email list generated sales without asking permission from any algorithm. Guess which one slept better at night? This single decision changed everything. The difference wasn't talent, it wasn't intelligence, it wasn't luck, it was architecture. One built content, the other built an ecosystem. One chased attention every day, the other converted attention into ownership. That's the word almost everyone ignores: ownership. If you own the audience relationship, you have leverage. If you own the product, you have control. If you own the systems, you have freedom. If you own nothing except today's views, tomorrow always feels uncertain. The modern economy rewards creators more than ever before, but it rewards business builders even more. Every successful company understands one truth: marketing exists to feed the business. It isn't the business itself. Your content is marketing. Your business is what happens after someone trusts you. Trust is the most valuable currency online. People don't buy products because they're perfect. They buy because they believe the person behind them understands their problems. Content creates that belief. Business transforms that belief into long term value. Yet, this is exactly where greed becomes dangerous. Some creators begin selling anything: every sponsorship, every random product, every quick opportunity. The audience notices. Trust slowly disappears. Revenue spikes for a moment, then collapses. Short term money quietly destroys long term reputation. The strongest businesses move differently. They protect trust like treasure. They say no more often than yes. They understand something many people never learn. Every decision either compounds trust or spends it. Money compounds. Relationships compound. Reputation compounds. So does bad decision making. The internet remembers everything. Then another unexpected challenge appears: scale. When you're the only employee, growth feels exciting. When thousands of customers arrive, everything changes. Support requests multiply, systems break, deadlines become impossible, quality slips, panic spreads. This is where businesses either mature or collapse under their own success. Creators who never learned leadership suddenly need managers, editors, designers, writers, customer support, operations, finance, legal. Hiring becomes more important than filming. Building people becomes more important than building videos. Many fail here because they never intended to build a company. They only wanted to become famous. But the people who embrace the transition discover something incredible. Their income becomes disconnected from their hours. Imagine taking a month off and sales continue arriving. Imagine your audience still receiving value while you're with family, traveling, learning, or simply resting. Imagine waking up without checking analytics because yesterday's numbers no longer determine today's survival. That's not laziness, that's leverage. Leverage is one person producing the results of 10. Technology creates leverage. Teams create leverage. Systems create leverage. Businesses create leverage. Constantly trading time for money never does. The world celebrates hustle. It applauds sleepless nights and endless grinding. But history rewards builders. Builders create structures that outlive individual effort. They think beyond today's upload, beyond next month's income, beyond the next viral trend. They ask different questions. Instead of asking, how do I get more views? They ask, how do I create more value? Instead of asking, how do I go viral? They ask, how do I become unforgettable? Instead of asking, how do I earn more this month? They ask, how do I build something that earns for years? Those questions lead to completely different decisions and completely different lives. The greatest advantage of content isn't fame, it isn't influence, it isn't validation from strangers, it's distribution. Every business in history needed customers. Today, you can reach them without buying television commercials or renting billboards. Your phone has become a global distribution machine. That's a miracle previous generations never had. Ignoring that opportunity to build something bigger is like discovering gold but only collecting the dust. The next decade won't belong to people who simply create content. Artificial intelligence will generate content faster than any human. Editing will become easier, production costs will fall, competition will explode. But businesses built on trust, community, ownership, and real value will become even stronger. Because technology can copy content, it cannot easily copy genuine relationships. It cannot easily copy loyal communities. It cannot easily copy a business built with intention. Years from now, millions of creators will still be chasing the next upload, hoping the algorithm chooses them one more time. Others will quietly own companies that started with a single video, a single post, a single story. They won't remember the exact number of views they received. They'll remember the moment they stopped asking how to become a bigger creator and started asking how to become a better business owner. Because followers can disappear, views can disappear, platforms can disappear, trends can disappear. But a business built on trust, ownership, systems, and real value has the power to survive long after the spotlight moves somewhere else. So don't build a career that depends on people watching you every single day. Build something that keeps serving people even when you're not there. Anyone can become a content creator. Very few have the courage to become the architect of a content business. And in the end, the people who own the system almost always outperform the people trapped inside it.